Paradise is this 2025 1-hour series on Hulu. You've probably seen it. If you haven't, you've definitely heard about it. It's a character-driven drama, political thriller, sci-fi, whodunit, murder mystery.
I need you to do exactly what I ask right now. My fellow Americans, you're aware of the situation we now face, and I want to tell you the truth. I don't know what to do. Yeah, you do.
And this is timely, too, because the Emmys just announced their nominations last week, and this show received 4 Emmy nominations, which is huge for a first-time television show. Nominated for Most Outstanding Drama Series, Most Outstanding Lead Actor, that's SKB. You know I agree with that. That's my guy. Love some Sterling K. Brown. 2 Outstanding Supporting Actor nominations for James Marsden and Julianne Nicholson. It also received 3 Gotham TV nominations and Television Critics Association nominations. So critically acclaimed TV series and a lot of buzz, a lot of praise. So how did Paradise come about? It is such an interesting story. The idea came to Dan Fogelman in 2002. He says he was in a business meeting with a very powerful, very wealthy person. Not sure who that was. Some sort of executive. And a nearby crane outside the window comes down. Boom! Smoke, and it's so scary. Whole building's shaking. They're all like under the table. So while all that's going on, he's watching this executive, seeing how scared he is and seeing that he has the exact same reaction that he does and that his wealth and power at that moment meant nothing. So later on, I think he's reflecting on that. It gave him an idea, and he pulls out the old sticky note, the old Post-it note. So I'm not sure what he wrote on that sticky note, but basically it was the idea of what happens when a powerful person and someone who is not powerful, perhaps someone assigned to protect that person, are both put in the same dangerous situation. The power dynamic shifts at that point. Who has the most value now? The person who has the money, which is useless, or the person who has the skill set? It's one of these high concept ideas that instantly makes sense to us. You know, maybe we weren't consciously thinking this idea, but oh, okay, yeah, I get that. That is something we can all relate to. He says that sticky note was sort of calling to him through the years, and in fact, he even got with some sci-fi writers at one point and was trying to develop an idea of how to incorporate it into like space, science fiction, that sort of thing. Never worked out, always fell through. Then during the final season of This Is Us, the COVID season, in fact, my son was part of the COVID team during that season. You know, a lot of isolation and being alone and thinking about the dangers of the world. The idea at that point was really pulling on him. And as This Is Us was winding down, he knew he wanted a tone shift. I mean, 106 episodes of crying. It'll just wear a person down, right? So he writes a first draft, he pitches it to Hulu, he gets the green light, he brings in his team of superhero writers to help him, chisel on it. And they dug deep into research. They watched TED Talks, they studied architecture, they read sociology journals, all that stuff. They even brought in the author, Stephen Markley, who wrote the novel The Deluge. They wanted to learn from him some of his tricks of how humans would react in these high-stress environments, life or death. So, in other words, Dan was impressed with the novel. But he says it was a show that he knew he would eventually write, and he was avoiding it for over 15 years because of all of the research that he knew what it would take to actually pull it off. This is one of these shows that can't be surface level. You got to go deep into the underground. Oh, literally. So the team helped him shape the pilot, which is called Wildcat Is Down, and that's the one we'll be breaking down today. Production is underway, and the production team goes to work building this massive soundstage to look like the underground bunker, to look like the fake world. It was made inside a World War II hangar in Tustin, California. Just a huge project, a very expensive project. A lot of the other scenes besides that, though, were shot around LA, also on the Warner Brothers backlot. So a true Los Angeles or California production. And we love to see that. Fogelman's This Is Us star, Sterling K. Brown, my guy. He signed on early, giving the show prestige, credibility, the emotional depth that it would take to pull off a character like this. So once SKB's on board, casting's easy. Everybody wants to be on his team, right? You got James Marsden comes over, Julianne Nicholson, Chris Marshall, who I love from For All Mankind. Man, that's a good show if you haven't seen it. The original working title was Paradise City, and it was later shortened to Paradise. Principal photography began in February 2024. They shot the pilot over 8 weeks. It cost somewhere between $10 and $15 million for the pilot and for all 8 episodes each. Wait, is that why my Hulu subscription went up? But seriously, that is the price tag these days for a show of this nature. It premiered on Hulu this year, January 2025, and the pilot racked up 7 million views in the first week and over 17 million views for the all 8 episodes and growing. So Hulu says this was a huge success. It's hard to quantify those numbers because, we're used to seeing millions and millions of views in social media, but it's different for television shows. The bottom line is Hulu is very, very happy with the success of this show, and they want many more seasons, and season 2 is greenlit right away. So a lot of success here. All right, let's look at the log line. And for TV, you have the log line of the show and you have the log line of the episode. The show log line is a tranquil community of the world's most prominent individuals explodes when a shocking murder occurs and a high-stakes investigation unfolds. And the log line for the episode, the pilot, Wildcat Is Down, is it's just another day in paradise until Agent Xavier Collins discovers one of the world's most powerful individuals has been viciously murdered. And here's my go at it. The most powerful man in the world is murdered, and for the man who was supposed to protect him, paradise just became a very dangerous place.